did you have a conversation, or were these conversations started after the Wynn Crown conversations broke down?
Yes, it was after the Wynn conversations broke down. I've always had the utmost respect for James, and so before I saw the Wynn news, I wasn't aware that he was looking to divest his Australian assets. So when the news came out, and even as a friend, I called him up to see how he was doing,
right?
Because given how abrupt the transaction was announced, and then it broke down, and I think we had a conversation. And once I knew that he wanted to, that was his intention. He has some of the greatest assets globally. They're clearly the premium assets in Australia, but even from a world standard, they are phenomenal. And Melco has always been a company that has been going global, and we've always had global aspirations. Macau, Manila, Cyprus.
Right.
We've just never found assets that were at our level in terms of premium. And these assets fit in perfectly. And the two organizations, the 12-year history that we have, the partnership, the organizations have very similar DNA. We have similar philosophy in terms of really delivering the best guest experience, having the best product. We pride ourselves at Melco on having the most Michelin stars in our restaurants, the most Forbes 5 stars.
Right.
And so a lot of similar philosophies between the two organizations. So I'm super excited about the deal. I'm glad that James is very happy about it. It's great that we get to be, as you said earlier on, full circle.
Right. As far as this one is concerned, this institution, this body here, does it stop at 19-20%, or are you planning? Is this a stepping stone for you to increase your stake here a little bit more in the future?
Well, that certainly would be our wish and our goal.
Okay.
Subject to regulatory approvals. I went through Australian probity and regulatory approval when we first established the Melco Crown partnership back in 2004.
Right.
So it's time to go through all of that again in the various jurisdictions, and there are some additional Australian foreign investment rules that we need to go through. So I think that regulatory process will probably take 12 months or so. And we're fully respectful of that process. And I think part of the reason we like Australia as much is the fact that they're known to have world-class regulators and the strictest of compliance and governance. So from that standpoint, I think that would be great for our Japanese bid as well.
Lawrence, Tom here in Beijing, you touched on some of this, but unpack it for us. What are the strategic benefits longer term for Melco from this purchase?
For Melco, we've always been focused on becoming more global. We are an Asian-based, Asian-focused company, but at the same time, all of the investments that we've done in the past few years has been to become more global. And Japan is really the final frontier in terms of global gaming and entertainment businesses. With the Crown purchase, I think it further improves our chances in Japan, given Australia is known to have great governance, and at the same time, Melbourne is a great case study for urban revitalization. When the Crown first built in the area that they built, it was an industrial rundown area, and now it is probably the nicest area within Melbourne. And their Sydney project, which is due to open in 2021, I would compare it to Morpheus, the award-winning property addition that we opened at City of Dreams last year. And so to have these iconic buildings and premium assets that focuses really on the premium guest experience, it fits perfectly with our global strategy.
Lawrence, final question, just going to ask you, is this your way of also saying that Macau has matured, that you're looking for growth elsewhere?
No, Macau will and always be the largest gaming market in the world, and it benefits from its proximity to China. And Macau, in the last 12 months, we've repurchased almost $600 million worth of shares to take the Melco shareholding from 51 to 54%. Right. So we're always bullish on Macau, and if anything, Q2 is looking very strong in Macau. even with all of this U.S.-China trade war stuff. But having said that, Macau will always be our biggest market, and we want to continue to develop our global footprint.
How are you paying for this? Very quickly, 1.2 billion.
Well, it's both internal and external sources. We've always had a very conservative balance sheet. And so, I think we're very comfortable with the additional leverage that we'll be taking on.